Hello everyone! This is Running on Empty Food Review. Well, hello ladies, gentlemen, and everyone watching. Welcome one and all to this newest edition of the Running on Empty Food Review series. I'm your host, The Report of the Week. Thank you for tuning in. I'm actually running a little bit low on battery in my camera, so this one's going to be a little shorter than usual. Perhaps. I mean, you know how I do things, but I'm kind of on the clock. Either way. So let's get right into things. This, I believe, is the second time Burger King has done this. They have released an Impossible Burger. Back in 2019, it was the Impossible Whopper. This time around, in 2022, it is the Impossible King. So what this is, it features, instead of a beef patty, it features a plant-based patty. So this, they try to say, is an alternative for someone who's vegan or vegetarian. I think there might be some issues with how it's actually prepared that you do need to be aware of. But again, the big thing about this, it features a plant-based patty instead of the beef patty. It also has onions, pickles, ketchup, and mustard. This burger is available at the price of $7. A little pricey, but I guess they say it's a plant-based item, so we could charge a bit of a premium for it. Again, it says the Impossible Patty made from plants. Again, this is the Impossible King, though they're using Impossible Whopper packaging. And there you have it. There's a view of it. All right. So you obviously noticed that cut there. You might say camera problems. Well, let me ask you this. What did you notice? Did you notice anything about this? Not the packaging or anything, right? You see this right there, the tomato, and then I saw mayo right there. I thought to myself, wait a minute, this doesn't look like what was in the ad. So I paused the camera right then and there, kind of depleted what was a couple of that extra battery, and I looked at the receipt. It does say one Impossible King, and I also got a Whopper just for the heck of it, just for the fun of it, which I've got right here. Non-impossible, granted, but anyway, what's the big deal? I think they gave me an Impossible Whopper and not the Impossible King, so it's the end of the world. It's the end of the world. So I guess I don't have what I need to review. So that's kind of a wrap for the review. That is. I mean, there's nothing I can do here. Well, I'm sitting here contemplating right now if I want to salvage the video in some way, or just kind of say, forget it, I'm done with it for the day. What the heck, I mean, I set the lights up and everything, I got everything prepared, I did all of that stuff. I don't know, we'll just keep the camera rolling, I mean, why not? I guess this is an outtake video at this point, and this happens sometimes. I'm not even in the mood to really get all that upset. I mean, look, it is what it is. Obviously, it wasn't an issue on my end, and I checked. I bet some of you might be wondering, well, what if they just messed up? Now, this is definitely the Whopper right there. I could tell, though, that this is an Impossible Burger, and some might wonder how. You could always tell that there's a scent difference. The Whoppers and all that just have a certain scent, but the Impossible patties, I guess it's just the plant-based, the plant base to it. It's got a different scent, so I noticed that. This stuff happens. It's quite unfortunate that it does, but this is one of those problems that's as old as fast food itself, essentially. Though I will say I think it's gotten worse over the years, granted. You get the wrong item, right? It's happened to all of us. Sometimes it's more egregious than others. Like in this case, it was just a total wrong sandwich as opposed to what I ordered. Sometimes it'll just be like you ordered something with cheese and it didn't have it, or it had an extra condiment that you didn't want, or whatever it was. But in other cases, you get the wrong thing, and like I said, it happens, but definitely gotten worse, I'd say, lately, so You know, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know, I guess I should still nibble at this for, you know, for your entertainment, really. Because, I mean, I reviewed the thing. I reviewed this back in 2019, and I enjoyed it at the time. I mean, I guess I'll try it again, but this isn't a review for the Impossible King, obviously, because it's just going to be what it is, and it's totally different. There's different components, so that's nothing I could do there. Still paid $7 for it, though. Very nice. At least I guess I got the Whopper, right? We got that going, so I'm just going to kick back at this point. What's the point? So I'm just going to kick back. I got a different radio here next to me, so maybe I'll turn it on, scan around, nibble at the Impossible Burger. Let's take one more look at it. The hell with it. Let's just see. Look at the size of this. It's massive. We'll see how it's changed since 2019. How about that? At least review something. So, turn on the radio, listen to some shortwave. Not really sure what you could pick up at this time of day, but let's see. And, well, let's try it out. The Impossible Whopper, I guess, 2022 edition going in. Sorry about that. I had a little notice that came up that mentioned about the battery, and then when I pressed it, it stopped the recording. Anyway, the wrong item, pretty much. Yeah, it's the Impossible Whopper, no doubt. Took another bite while the camera was kind of doing its thing. Anyway, there's a little cross-section for you. I'll tell you this, you know, the Impossible items I always notice are just real hit or miss. That's just the way that it goes a lot of the time. If you remember, I tried out was it the Impossible, or it was the plant-based stuff from KFC, and my God, that was awful. That was absolutely horrible, where it was inedible. But there've been other times where I've tried out the plant-based alternatives, and they're actually pretty good. And Burger King, despite the track record that they have sometimes, despite some of the items that they release which are absolute garbage, you know, they really do have a few hits out there, so to speak. And one thing that I genuinely liked it back in 2019, and I'll be honest, I'm not, you know, the kind that I'll be going out and getting the plant-based stuff all the time, you know, and I'll straight up admit that. That's why I've got a regular Whopper right there. But like I said, I'm not afraid to admit that, and that's what I usually go with. So I'm not going to pretend like I eat this stuff, you know, 3 times a day, every day, or anything. But I will say that for what it is, compared to some of the plant-based items that I've gotten in the past, it's actually pretty good. It was good back in 2019, and it actually still was decent in 2022 as well. Is it overpriced? Oh, absolutely it is. But all things considered, you know, what you're looking for is the, how does it match the regular Whopper burger, right? And it actually does. It tastes just like it. I mean, that's the thing that gets me. You could tell in the consistency, and again with the scent that you get, that it's definitely not a real burger. But in terms of the taste, it mimics the flavor almost better than it should, you know, for something so kind of man-made in that regard. But they definitely do a good job with it. I think it's for folks who maybe want to get the experience, like they're eating a Burger King burger, but aren't actually consuming any meat. And it still does that. I mean, it still does it. Tastes just like a Whopper burger, even though, again, consistency-wise, it's like it's just a little thicker, I would say, than what the burger itself would normally be. But still pretty good, all things considered. Toppings are actually fresh. That onion, though, you could see so much of it, and it's very, very potent. I mean, you could definitely notice that, too. But all in all, I mean, I would say Impossible burger-wise, in terms of the quality of the patty itself, it's actually pretty solid, still maintaining the standards. I wish I would have got the right item, so I could have tried out the Impossible King, but I would wager if the core component is just having that Impossible patty as the base, that's what it's going to be all built off of. And then, you know, you would just be throwing in some onions. All right, we got that. We got the pickles, so we know how that would work, and it does. Onion is just very sharp. Pickles are just kind of there. and then ketchup and mustard, and I think on the Impossible King they also throw in some cheese as well. But it all blends together nicely so far. Good base, and I'm sure it would come together. Again, if that's what it's built off of, I'm sure if I just had to take a guess, I'd say the Impossible King would probably be solid. Not going to say anything definitively, though, because I couldn't try it out here. I just tried out the Impossible Whopper again. But, solid. I mean, still maintaining the standards. I would say that, you know, for an Impossible... For what they're trying to accomplish here, they still did a good job with it. And, with it, definitely going to get an 8.5 out of 10. I'd give this burger, just to, you know, retry the Impossible stuff. Still good for what it is, but, yeah, what can you do? What can you do? You know? I'm upset at myself over this for saying but then I say, what could have I done about this, you know? I don't know. It is what it is. This happens. I remember back in 2014 this happened too. Tried out an item and it was totally the wrong thing. Couldn't really do anything with that. I swear, maybe back in 2021 I tried this too. It's a chicken sandwich. I think it was from Burger King. It was the wrong item also, so I guess it just happens. Maybe it was even Burger King that did that back in 2014. I think it was Wendy's back then, but this happens. I wish that places would at least check. Obviously, it went through on the computer system again, that it was the Impossible King, but it you know, was made, obviously, for something else. Maybe someone else wound up with an Impossible King, and they're sitting there all upset that they didn't get their Impossible Whopper. Who knows, maybe a switcheroo took place. So, this is what it is. Wasn't the intended experience, but you know the way it goes. A fast food experience, a genuine fast food experience for you. Making the best out of what we've got. Alright, battery's about out, so I'm going to wrap it up right now. Sorry about this. I sincerely apologize. I strive to try to give you quality with these reviews. I strive to review what I say I'm going to review, and when that doesn't happen, I feel like I let you all down, but there's only so much I could do in this situation, and if the demand is really there going forward for the Impossible King, then I'm going to go out, I'll get it again, and we'll give this another shot. So I'm sorry that this happened. You know, it is what it is in the end. Not the end of the world, obviously, but that's all that I have for you today. Thanks for bearing with me, though, and I appreciate your support. Until next time, I'm your host, The Report of the Week.